sweet one bliss. Someone flicks me a bad body. So, it's another one. It's another one, yeah. It's a full strong, yeah. Oh, it's another one. It's another one, yeah.
Yes, fight fans, we're back for another edition of Mr. Neutral's Hard Talk USA, where tonight's episode is themed The Four Kings and Why the Hate. But before that, a word from our sponsors. And if there's any of that D-Rip from D-Rock, then check the website out and enjoy 40% off with just by putting iBoxingHub 24 in the promo code. And believe you me, the clobber is quality, well worth value for money. Now, with me tonight is my good buddy Rico the Sensei, producer of this show and absolute legend. Thank you for coming through. We have Eric,
didn't miss it.
ARF. Thank you for coming through. Bantam Boxing's #1 man right now. And we have a special guest, ESPN director, Mr. Aladdin on Twitter, aka Zeke. How you doing, man?
Doing all right. Doing all right.
Doing very well, thank you.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Well, you all know the title of the show. It is The Four Kings and Why the Hate. We'll go through them one by one, gents, in a minute. But, just to give the audience a flavour of the show, we're going to highlight every single fighter. We hope to get, as the program goes through, we hope to get a few more people coming in. I have put the bat signal out for all fans of Tank, Shakur, Crawford, and Haley to come in and explain to the public, the boxing community, just why this hate exists between these fans of boxers. I mean, the hate doesn't exist between the boxers themselves. They do what they do to sell a fight. But the fans, it's pure vitriolic hatred. And let's address it. I want to go over to the USA first, to our ESPN entrepreneur, that is Aladdin. You're the man in the know over there. You've seen it all. You might on the Twitter, at shows, at the live events. Yeah, you've seen the fans, the way they react to fighters. In your experience is working with that in that environment, what light can you shed on, just as an outsider looking in, and from your own experiences?
More for me, it's more about look. You neutral. You and I are a little bit older, but when we were coming up, it was more about the sport and not the fighter. So we were kind of like, oh, he's a great fighter. So whenever a great fighter would come on, we didn't give a shit about the promotional company. We didn't care about any of that. We just wanted to see a great fighter fight. Now it's gotten to the point where it's like, well, what promotion company is? And I don't know when all that started. I want to say there was a time when it was like, all right, I would watch Showtime fighters. I would watch HBO fighters. I didn't care, I didn't care if Roy Jones fought on Showtime. I didn't care if he fought on, HBO. I didn't care if he fought under a Top Rank banner. I just wanted to see Roy Jones fight. Sadly now, I don't know when it started. Now it's like, oh, well, I'm not going to watch that fighter because I don't care, because such and such doesn't fight black fighters, or such and such doesn't fight. It's like that guy's always fighting Mexicans. It's never whatever it is. And unfortunately, I think that's part of the problem. And I think that's part of, to your point, where these guys receive hate. Look, if it's a great fighter, let's see a great fighter fight. the other side of it is we don't know how great some of these fighters are. We think Tank's a great fighter. I'm going to be honest. We think he's a great fighter, but as Rico would say and other people would say, well, he's a prospect killer. Who knows? Because a lot of these guys, I think part of where they get the hate is now because they haven't gotten together and they haven't fought each other and no one's dared to be like taking a chance. Haney has, but some of the other people who are perceived to be a part of these four kings haven't.
Absolutely. Rico, the producer, our Heyman for the night. If you, I don't know, I can't see it from here, but if the chat is the StreamYard link in the chat, big up to Big Boss Adolfo. Come through, mate. The link is there. We got Jams Boxing chat. Get well soon, my man. He's been ill this week, poor man. You'll be back soon and firing on all cylinders. The 505. Big salute to you, my darling. Another 505 watch party of the 21st of December. Hopefully, we've seen the venue. It looks fantastic. So, yes, that's another event that we shall be going to, me and Rico, in support of 505. Wonderful, wonderful entrepreneur. Yeah, great point there, Al. Now let's start with let's start with the name, right? Now, Tank Davis, for me, as you said, Al, great boxer, but we're not fully 100% fully aware, I would say, of just how good he is, just how good he could be. But he's not fighting the kind of guys that these other fighters' fans want to fight. Does he receive more? We'll talk about the hate ranking later on, but at this point, is currently who's the most hated of the four gentlemen, in your opinion, right now on Twitter? Yes, please, Al. Anybody. Who's the most hated right now on Twitter?
Oh,
Devin Haney.
is it Haney?
Welcome to 505. Thank you for coming through.
You guys
Devin
think he's
Haney
hated
says
more than
505.
you guys
So-
think he's hated more than Ryan Garcia?
I'm just
Yeah,
asking you. I'm the
definitely.
moderator.
I think
Yeah,
so, 100%.
I think it's Haney over Ryan. Ryan has. There's too many people that dislike Haney over disliking what Ryan did. The joy they get out of the pain Ryan put Haney through lets Ryan off on what he did. A lot of people are bypassing what he did or overlooking it to say because it was so funny that it happened to Devin. And I keep relaying this point that had this have been Tank Ryan did this to, Ryan certainly would have been the most hated fighter on Twitter. Had it been Tank, but because it was Devin, yeah, Devin is definitely, he's getting hate for suing somebody.
For me, Eric, it's Haney, but for a different reason. I think I would have said if Ryan hadn't gotten beat by Tank and stopped, I would have said Ryan all the way. I think having seen him already, like some of the luster get knocked off, I think that kind of took the shine off of him. So I would have said before that fight, absolutely Ryan Garcia, because I know a lot of people still hate him. Like people like I'm not a big fan of him because I think what he did was an act of cowardice by not making weight and then all the other stuff. But I don't care about that. But I would say Haney, and it's sad because to me, in my opinion, Haney's the one that's actually dared to be great of all of them. He's taken on, to me, the toughest challenges per se.
Yeah, he's never talked to anybody. He's ran towards the smoke.
He's the one for me that he's the one for me that needs to be one of the four kings. Like, is one of the four kings because he's done that. He's gone and fought the best fighters possible in the weight divisions he's been at. Those fighters who was there, who he could fight, he did fight. The ones that didn't want to fight him, he couldn't fight. At the end of the day, he was chasing Loma. He couldn't get Loma. He was chasing Tio. He couldn't get Tio. He had to go to through Cambosis, just to get the Loma fight. He had to beat Cambosis twice just to earn a Loma fight, to be honest. and he was a
Yeah,
champion.
because you get certain fan base sections who'll say, "No, you best stay away from my fighter," sort of rhetoric on Twitter because you've had the audacity to call somebody out. You know what I mean? And yeah, oh no, you don't want this smoke. He best stay away. I love that rhetoric from these scared fans, and that's when fans pick up on that narrative from clearly insecure fans. That then transfers onto the boxer itself. That kind of that I don't like to use the word hate, but it's a widely used word on Twitter, so I'm going to ride with it for this episode. So that's why he attracts a lot of hate on his side for that reason alone, Al. So I'll give you that. Now going on to Tank. Sorry, I should have started with Heaney. Let's go on to Tank. Now, does he receive undue hatred because he doesn't fight the big fights? He brings people either up or he brings them down. You can't truly see he's 101 division or another because he either catch weights or other. But as fantastic as he is, do you think? Rico, are you there? No, 505. Do you think Tank has?
Yep. I mean, my bad.
Oh, you're there.
Carry on, Shy.
Right. But I'll go. Let Shy go first because you were.
Yo, can anyone get into their Twitter accounts? Because I can't.
Yeah, I'm talking to Daniel on Twitter at the minute.
Right.
Okay,
Okay, my bad.
You. Elon's not having it. So Shy, does Tank get? In your experience on Twitter, does Tank? Have you seen hatred towards Tank because of who he approaches for fights?
Yeah, I do see some of it, but I'm a Tank fan, so obviously my Twitter is an echo chamber of that. So I won't see as much as probably others. But I do see him get, he's fighting another bum. He won't fight world champions. He needs to step up. And it's all right. It's like, I'm a fan. Sorry, excuse me. I'm a fan, but I would like to see him take, like a Shakur fight or a Devin Haney fight. I did want to see the Lowe fight, but obviously that's what happened. I would like to see him fight Tio. All these guys he could have fought when there was all at 135. Do you get what I'm saying? Some of them are moved up now. But he fought... Barrios at 140, so I don't see why he couldn't move up to fight the other guys at 140, if that makes sense. So I just want to see Tank be great,
these
man.
fans grip on,
Yeah, Tank is a really good fighter. I think he's got good ring IQ. I think he's entertaining to watch. So yeah, but I would just like to see him step it up now. I'm just, yeah. I see him get hate, but I see Haney. His hate is it's crazy. And then I even done a tweet. It got so much traction on it, and the majority was saying that they just don't like his dad as well. His dad makes it really bad for him because of the way he's out there and he speaks. He's like his mouthpiece and all of this stuff. And yeah, it's like a bit what Eric said as well. Like, sorry, go on, Stevie.
What demographics are taking part in this hate?
I think what, in the Haney hate?
Yeah. Obviously you're going to get the white Christian Garcia, element. Forget them, right? They're not boxing fans.
For me,
let's talk about the fans of the other boxers in question. Do these fans do these fans emanate the hate, or is the hate coming from the casuals?
For
both. Right?
I think it's more. I think it's more of a. If they like a certain fighter, they don't like Devin. I don't think there's like a demographic or anything such. Even the casuals. If the casuals, they like Ryan because they've seen Ryan on TikTok or whatever. Instantly, they're not gonna like Devin because they're hearing, oh, he's suing Ryan. They're not going to like Devin. If you like Tank, you're not allowed to like Devin, apparently. That's how it works, really. The only fighter that's in Devon's shoes, really, or similar places, Shakur, who doesn't really have a massive fan base that goes against Devon. Like, Shakur
Right,
is the
Eric.
only one out of them who's come out and actually defended Devon in all of this.
Excellent point. Al, I want to bring you on to this point. What are you saying?
Just real quick back to Tank. I think Tank gets a pass more than he should because he's knocking guys out. So he's exciting. Of all of them, he probably has, to me, the most fanatic of the fans. They'll ride or die with him, which is why we're going to end up with him fighting Lamont Roach in Houston and not in DC and bringing him up. So to my thing is Tank probably has the most of these fans, the most powerful. I would say Garcia is number 2, Haney is number 3, and Shakur's fan base, you know, they're not as vocal as a lot of these guys. But that's why I feel like the guy gets a big pass just because he's knocking guys out. But as Eric and Shai said, like, let's be honest, he could have fought Loma years ago. There's a lot of fights the guy could have made that he didn't. And even between now with De Los Santos, and I don't know what's going on with De Los Santos, but that to me would have been more of a test than this Lamont Roach fight. And I don't know why Tank doesn't get more hate, to be honest with you, from actual fans. And one last thing, Neutral, to call these guys, it's almost sad, but it is what it is. And I know you didn't coin it and you didn't come up with it. But to call these guys the Four Kings is a real sad thing compared to the real Four Kings. Like,
it was a lack of a collective word for these 4 gentlemen.
People are like the 4 Kings. And when I heard it, I was just like, really? These are your 4 Kings?
They're the 4 kings of the current era.
Exactly.
So all I can say to that, the real ones know where they would actually rank in history. But let's go to Rico. You're ignorant before you're back in the race, mate. What are you saying?
Why are the 4? Wait, who receives hate? What, Javante? Well, it's pretty easy. He's a disappointment. He disappoints.
Say what?
What
is he now? He's a disappointment. For what fact, please?
Like in terms of the fact that he's been a professional as long as one Anthony Joshua, other people. He's never unified. He's bringing somebody up from a lower weight division who nobody really gives a shit about. Who's lost to Jamal Herring, who Shakur Stevenson's beat. It's like an intricate network of fuckery. So if you connect all the fuckery together, you'll just see Javante Tank Davis just there. So,
right, but can you? But you say that. But can you honestly say that he has not tried to find these top fights before settling on Lamont Roach?
Yes, I can honestly say it's on. If you go on YouTube and then you type Javante Tank Davis ducking the smoke, it'll put up a YouTube video of him. I think he was on Big Boys Radio or with Gilly and Wally. One of the
Gilly and Waller. Yeah, Gilly and Waller.
Yeah, bro. And they're like,
receipts.
Well, I'm I have to come prepared here at Hard Talk on a Friday. And I, get to express my opinion. So, I mean, at the end of the day, if Tank really wants to be taken seriously, then he should do serious things.
Let me just go back to the chat very quickly. A big hello to Jen H, letting some hearts out. That's great to know. Thank you, Jen H. Like and subscribe, guys. Inevitable D-Town is boxing show. Fags, he's here. The StreamYard link is in the chat for anyone who wants to come through. Please come through. The more opinions, the better. Boxing Barbecue, hats off to you, sir. Thank you very much for coming through. My man Jams there, of course. Frank Martin boxed his ears off for 6 rounds until that big bang. No disrespect to Jamal Herring. He's a legend. So some of the people are saying now that, they're pretty much agreeing with you that he's not bringing the fights that people want. Now, is there anything else? Sorry, Al, on you go, mate.
Yeah, real quick. To Rico's point, we would have all loved to have seen Tank at least fight De Los Santos because we saw what happened with Shakur. So you could be like, all right, he fought him. How can we tie it in? We see it together. But to fight a guy who Shakur fought, and he fought Herring, who was Shakur's. Roach's Herring's leftovers. So it's like, where does that all come in? It doesn't even tie in. Where if we had seen the De Los Santos, we'd be like, okay, well, Shakur was running, obviously a hand, whatever. A Tank walks him down. They get in a firefight. Whatever happens. But we can't even tie that part together, which is even more frustrating. It's like, oh, how can again we get screwed with Tank a lot. That's all I'm gonna say.
He doesn't have a belt. That's the problem. He doesn't have a belt. Tank, every time he does this rubbish, he goes after someone who has a belt who he's going to beat. Leo Santa Cruz, he did it with him when he brought him up and did all that rubbish with 2 belts on the line. He's doing it with Lamont Roach. He did it with Rowley because Rowley had that magnet belt, whatever it was, up at 140. He did it with Hector Garcia before he fought Ryan Garcia. He did it with him because he won a belt at 130. He brought him up. The only reason why he fought Ryan Garcia is because of the money, and he knew it would be a big payday because of Ryan's fan base. But the guy keeps doing this constantly. He moves however he wants, but he goes and fights the champion. So Dave and Leonard Ellerby and everybody can go, oh, he's fighting a champion. This was a champion. He fought another champion. You see these stupid lists they put on Twitter. Oh, how many champions has Tank beat? None of them are in his weight class. I think Pedraza was the only one that was in his weight class when he fought him and won that belt. That is the only one. Everybody else is, he was 130, he was a 135 fighter. He was 126, he was actually 130. He was 140, he wasn't even a real belt, and he had a rehydration clause.
Whoa. That regular belt, I'm sorry, I don't like to interrupt people when they're speaking, but you need to back the fuck up because that regular belt, that's history.
I don't.
We've got someone else in the chat, guys.
It's just yes. Go on, Mitchell.
Sorry, I can't actually see his because there's a banner up. Inevitable D Brock's comment. I can't even see who's joined us there. Dinos, you there you go. You muted me. There you go. You're back in. Welcome to the show, Dinos.
What's up, you guys? I'm actually I'm doing some stuff right now, so but I'll try to be on camera next time for sure.
No problem at all, my man. No problem at all. But look, you've been listening in to obviously the theme of the show. Let's go to you. We've talked about Haney. Go back to Haney. Why the hate? In your opinion?
Look, OPs. I think it's a lot of things, a combination of things. I think the biggest thing is that he went at Gervonta Tank Davis, and I think that he has a rapid fan base. He has one of the biggest fan bases in boxing, and he's public enemy #1. You've seen it with Shakur. Shakur had a pretty decent fan base. People liked Shakur, but as soon as Shakur kind of went against Tank, he became hated on social media and stuff like that. So I think it's a combination of things as far as that goes. And it doesn't, and I think people have a herd mentality, so they just follow the crowd and stuff like that. So Devin Haney is going to be hated as far as that goes. And I think it's not really anything in particular. We was in another space and we were talking, and I was like, "Why do you hate Devin Haney?" And they was like, "Oh, it's because of his dad." Oh, well, what did his dad do? His dad lied about some things about that, but their favorite fighter is somebody that has Leonard Ellaby as their promoter, which Leonard says all kind of wild stuff and all kind of crazy things on social media. So it's like, no, you dislike him because you're following other people as far as it goes. But I think that's what it's the hate is for. And then of course you have the Ryan Garcia fans now that really don't hate him, which is really the Latino fan base as far as that goes. So he just has a lot of hatred as far as that goes, just in general. But a lot of it is
see to that, please. Absolutely. Oh, peace. Big up you, my man. You've joined us. You're in the house. You just come in at the right moment after Dino's. I've been on your spaces, great spaces, by the way, guys. Anyone check out Oh Peace, your rising star. Absolutely. Now, big man.
What's going on? Is my audio okay?
You're fine indeed. Fine indeed. As fine as those dreads, sir. Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
And let's bring you into the chat. Devin Haney, in your opinion, is the most hated man out of the four kings that we have. We're going to name as Tank, Crawford, Haney, and Shakur. You know, give me your opinion on this hate for Haney.
I definitely agree. Some criticisms may be warranted. A lot of it is unfair, unwarranted criticism. A lot of it doesn't have to do with Haney personally. I think a lot of the criticism of Haney stems from his delusional fan base. I think his fan base kind of drives a lot of that hatred, and you know, he's kind of like an innocent bystander in the whole situation. So he's just catching strays, basically. You know what I'm saying? But overall, I think Haney is a good kid. He's professional. He has a massive respect for the sport, and it shows with his professionalism. So I think you know, by virtue of that alone, you know what I'm saying, it serves that, you know, the hatred is a lot of the hatred and the criticism is unwarranted, because you know, he's showing the willingness to get in the ring with the top opposition. You know, he's making weight, you know, so like you gotta lend credence to that. So a lot of people is giving them, you know, unfair, unwarranted criticism, and it's coming from, you know, mostly from our community, and that's what's so ridiculous about it, you know, and what makes it egregious.
Yeah, I asked Shy the question about the demographic of hate towards certain fighters. Can you highlight, in your opinion, where that most hate comes from? Which demographic of fans?
I mean, you know, we can all agree that there's tribalism in the sport. You know what I'm saying? So there's hate coming from all sides. Yeah, there's hate coming from
pure
all sides.
Tribalism.
Yeah.
See, that's a word that's so innocuous, but it's so spot on at the same time. Sure. Fans turn on fans, and fans can make other fans hate boxers. That is true. Right. So
well,
true.
Also, Mr. Neutral, we gotta think about it. Like, I've never heard other boxers get hated because of their fan base. So, like, you know, that's a wild statement. I normally hear
You
that in
think?
like in other things, but to say a fan base makes me dislike a fighter is kind of like I feel like it's a lot of reasons why people they don't really know the reason why they don't like Devin Haney, but it's a herd mentality. So you see other people that continues to pile on it to where you start hating someone and you don't even know why. It's kind of like, oh, but his fans. Well, of course his fans is going to be aggressive because all he has is hate. I don't really see a lot of positive stuff other than Jay is back and like other certain Twitter pages, but it's not much that's actually defending
There's
Devin
like
Haney.
3 Twitter pages.
Like, yeah, so
like
you see more, you see,
and
so you can't
three,
say, oh yeah.
those 3 prop up
Jab
Devin,
it like
and
Dev.
anytime they prop up Devin, the tweet goes viral because of all the hate they get on it. Like nobody comments positive shit on it. There's just all the hate. So yeah, I don't understand why he's like Opie said. It is a herd mentality. It is tribalism. If you're a fan of this boxer, you ain't gonna like Devin, and that's how it goes.
Now, let me ask you as a fan. Is it a case of you don't like anybody this man is going to fight?
No,
I don't. I think it's
take it. I just want to say this real quick.
It is like that.
Excuse me, Dinos. I just want to say this real
quick. Yeah, let OPs go, then you, Dinos, and then Eric. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I think it's important to note that it's a whole economy being driven by hatred towards, you know what I'm saying, certain fighters. You know what I'm saying? Especially in the boxing media spaces.
Paid lobbyists.
It's paying mortgages. It's paying off houses and cars. So it's big money in driving certain narratives about these fighters. So it's big money in the hatred. Big money in the hatred. So it's on us. It's on people like us. You know what I'm saying? Who actually have respect for the sport and some integrity to kind of push back and refute those narratives.
Okay, Peace, before I bring you in, Dinos, I just want to come to you. I noticed a wee wry smile in the corner of your mouth. What are you saying to them in response?
No, I just, OP said there's an economy being driven off of hate. That's good. I never heard that. That's awesome.
It's a good one, isn't it?
It's really good.
Right.
But there is.
It's true, though. It's very true.
It's absolutely true. I never
Dinos.
thought about it like that.
Dinos.
Yeah, so I just wanted to say, just to kind of piggyback on what everybody's saying, I think it is it's a lot that's going on, but a lot of these dudes that I'm talking to, they just really don't have confidence in themselves, so they attach themselves to other people as far as that goes. And it's not just Devin that they hate. You see the hatred for Shakur kind of subside a little bit. Why? Because he's not going at Tank. He hasn't been mentioning Tank. It's a
We'll come
mob
to
mentality.
Shakur in a minute, but you
Well,
started
the
off
only
with
reason,
Haney. What about Tank now? What hatred does he get? And is it justified?
I
And then we'll
don't,
go
I
back to
don't,
Peace.
I don't see the Tank hatred as much, except from like Eric said, the three Devin Haney platforms. Like,
Right.
there's not really a lot of Tank hate. Because even if you criticize, like I post something on my Twitter about, hey, you could do a lot of things with the 89.99, and they literally went attacked me. Was like, no, we gonna buy the Tank fight. We gonna get the Tank fight. Like, and I didn't even say nothing about Tank, but they knew I was talking about it. So he has a mob that's going to attack you once you say
Okay.
something negative about Tank. And my whole thing is, I just want to see Tank fight better fights. Like his fights that he has been terrible. Like, and I
Okay.
was
Okay.
defending him with the Frank Martin and all that, but then this fight was kind of like, okay, now you're just crossing the line. This is
All right.
ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous now.
Ow.
I think Tank gets more hate from I'm not going to say because we're not a wine and cheese crowd, but I think more knowledgeable people don't like Tank or just criticize him. It's not that we hate him because I don't hate anybody. I think he's a good fighter. I just don't know what he is. But I think more like real fans of the sport, I'm just going to say it like that, not casuals, are like question what Tank does because most of us, I'm not going to go into it, but we all, because we've already talked about it, the way he moves, the matchups he's making, that's where I think Tank gets more pushback. But as Dino says, if you say anything bad about Tank, it's like he has an army of people that they come. I was at the fight when he just fought Frank Martin. A very, very late arriving crowd. That's all I'm gonna say. And for a card that was stacked the way that one was, at least in my mind, I figured it would at least be. I sent you guys the pictures. I would figure it would be at least 60% full when Benavidez started fighting. No, those people showed up for Tank at the end. Like once that fight was over, they showed up for Tank and they left after he knocked the guy out, and that was it. And so I think more where he gets more of any sort of pushback are real fans.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
with Aladdin on that. I don't think Tank gets hate. I just think Tank gets criticised. And in my
That's
honest
as I
opinion,
explained. That's the word I
it's
don't
right.
like to hate use. Yeah.
It's rightfully so because I like Tank as a fighter. Like he's exciting when he fights. I don't like the matchups because I don't think he should be fighting those fighters. But I watch him because up until the knockout, all you're waiting for is a knockout, and 9 times out of 10, he gives you it. That's the excitement about watching a Tank fight. But we don't know what he's like against opposition we feel he can get beat by. And that's what we want matchups like again for everybody, even the fighters that I like. I want them up against people I believe they can probably get beat by, but I think the skills could beat them, but there's a high probability that they can get beat. The same with Tank and Devon. If Tank fights Devon, there's a high possibility Tank knocks Devon out. But I want to see that fight because I want to see who's the better of the two in the ring.
Okay, okay. Now, in response to what you've just said there about Tank, Jam's boxing chat, he's in the chat saying Tank ain't just that good a boxer, but he's loved by everyone because he's exciting with the knockout. Other than that, he gets outboxed. Shakur boxes his ears off, in my opinion. Let's move on to Shakur Stevenson. Rank him, the hatred for Shakur Stevenson, criticism, hatred, call it what you want. Is it warranted on this young master of science, of the sweet science?
Can I
And
go
B,
first, please?
you may indeed, D. And B, answer this question as well while you're at it, ladies and gentlemen. We'll go around in order. Is his hands going to be a major issue going forward? So we'll start off with D, and then I want to go to 505 next, if that's possible. Thank you, D. On you go.
He's dropped out.
Oh, he's dropped out. Let's go 505. You there, Darren?
I'm here, homie.
So,
So yeah, can you say it
Shakur
again?
Stevenson. Yeah, Shakur Stevenson. Is it unjust, the hatred that he gets? And is his hands going to be a major issue in his career moving forward?
It just depends. Like, for me, Shakur is an amazing boxer. I think he's really, really good. I really like Shakur. I just feel like when he's on Twitter and he's doing his Twitter stuff, I think that makes me just think, oh, Shakur, just do the boxing, man. Just do the boxing. So I don't know. The criticism is partly to do with that as well. Partly because for me, I like fights where it's just like I love the heavyweight division because I want to see knockouts. I want to see blood. I want to just see violence. So when I'm watching someone like Shakur, he's more technical. He's like hit and don't get hit, which I respect. But I want to see violence. That's why I like Tank. That's why I like, Anthony Yard, forward fighters that's just on aggression. So maybe people don't really like that. They want to see him, engage more and, oh, he's a runner. So I think some of the criticism comes from that. Going with his hand, if he's always getting injured, especially this early on in his career, it's definitely going to be a problem later on. You can't be getting injured so early. There's a few, I think Adam Azim is a bit like that as well with his hands, where he gets injured with his hands a lot. And it's just like, this is not a good sign for you guys that's just starting out. So yeah, I'm a fan of Shakur. I wish him all the best. I want to see him win. I want to see him do well. But for me, he's just not exciting enough for me to stay up till 5. Because we're in the UK. I have a rule, like I'm only staying up till 5 a.m. if this fighter is a banger. Like if they are going
Ain't no,
violence,
ain't no way I'm staying up till 5 a.m. for none of them
no
fighters now.
way. Like, yeah, and I'm getting old now, so I've got to be very selective with my 5 a.m. picks. And Shakur is not
Nah.
one of them that I'm staying up. I'll watch it the next day. But yeah, that's me.
You're on mute, neutral.
Can't hear
You're
you,
muted,
Stevie.
Neutral. You're
You're mute.
muted.
Sorry, my bad. Just chatted a whole load of shit there to nobody. Right, let's let's go to Rico now. Rico, you've been
What up?
witnessing this massive criticisms of one Shakur Stevenson. I know you're a
Yeah.
fan of his. Tell me,
You're really good, aren't you?
who's hating him
Allow
the
him to take
most right
cover.
now?
Who's what? Sorry.
Who's hating him the most right now? And is his hands really going to be a problem in the future?
I don't know because it's not been a problem in the past. He
Keep trying, D Block. Sorry, mate. On you go.
I really, really, really like Tank Javante Abdul Wahid Tank Davis. I believe he has I believe that he hasn't fulfilled his true destiny. I really feel like he's let himself down in terms of legacy. I feel like he doesn't really give a shit, to be honest. I think he'll fight who he wants to fight. And for example, I've been on a space where Tank was there, right? And somebody asked him why, why I don't see why you're WBA regular champion at 135 pounds. Why won't you go? Why don't you just why don't you go and pursue the mandatory with Devin? Bro said what? What did he say? Man, because I didn't want to. Stupid. You can get your ass kicked. Now for me, and people like me, when I hear stuff like that, first of all, fucking hilarious. Okay, please carry on doing stupid shit like that. And secondly, it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth, Stevie. You know?
It does. It does.
Stevie,
Right.
you know all about. Sorry, Stevie. Just you know disappointment. You know
Oh, absolutely.
when you see somebody
I've
who
been
you
feeling
really
disappointment since 1968.
I've been feeling disappointment since 1966.
When I first came out my mother's womb. Now that's another story. Oh, peace. Shakur Stevenson, right? Are you a fan?
Am I a
First and
fan?
foremost, are you a fan
Loves
of
him.
Shakur Stevenson? I know you're a hardcore element, but you're an admirer. I would tell you admire everyone. That's a stupid question. What am I saying?
Well, yeah,
Where's
I
the
mean,
hate?
I don't like
Where's
the
this
term.
hate coming from?
Yeah, I don't like the term fan. First of all, I'm a supporter.
Yeah, a support admirer. Yeah,
I'm definitely a supporter. I definitely
You're
champion
fan.
his skill set.
yeah, because no fans has got that casual element, and he's quite right. He's a
fans,
supporter.
they kind of disillusioned a bit, but I'm definitely a supporter of Shakur Stevenson. I definitely had my criticisms of him, but it's only because of what I believe he's capable of. Me personally, in my personal opinion, what I believe he's capable of caused me to be a little critical of him, and I think some of the criticism that he does receive is kind of warranted and kind of self-inflicted in a way. And I think part of the majority of the criticism that he receives is because people don't really have full understanding and full context of all the nuances and everything surrounding things concerning his business and his career. So I think it's a little bit of both, but I think a lot of his issues come from him over promising and under delivering. And I think that came from him being injured a lot longer than what was being reported at the time, because I had the pleasure of having a conversation with Wiley Moses, as most of you may know. I know D knows. But I had the opportunity, the pleasure to speak to Coach Wiley Moses, and he kind of shed he shed some light over some context that was kind of missing, and that was kind of driving a lot of the criticism that I was offering about his career, But once he offered that context, it kind of lended more credence to some of the things that he was doing, and it made me kind of analyze his career a little bit differently. And I started to appreciate some of the performances a little more, because I started to understand that there was certain conditions that he was under that anybody else probably wouldn't have performed the way that he did under those conditions. So I started to give him a little bit more credit than what I was giving him at first.
And when you do your tweets, right, in support of a boxer, no matter who it is,
yeah,
who attacks you first?
Ooh, in terms of the fans, it'll have to be Haney fans or Tank fans.
Why?
Tank fans a little bit, because
we'll do that later, Rico.
They really believe that, giving a fighter props, you know what I'm saying, is diminishing the other fighter. And I don't get where that, you know, where that idea comes from. Like you can give a fighter, you know, his flowers, or you know what I'm saying, say what a fighter does well, and it doesn't take away from the other fighter. You know, that's kind of goofy to me. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
when you say Shakur has some of the best IQ in boxing, you know what I'm saying? You got Tank fans that come out the woodworks. Oh no, Tank IQ is way better. You can't say that. You know, all Shakur does is back up. You know, and like it's just goofy. You know what I'm saying? You can't appreciate a good pugilist and credit the other one as well. So it's ridiculous.
Al, you're an enormous Shakur supporter.
No,
right?
I don't. I'm either way.
Pretty obviously, he's the top right man.
He's marvelous. He's marvelous. He's a marvelous fighter. I think he writes checks a lot of times with his mouth that his fists can't catch. No pun intended. And I also think some of the hate for
Big up
Shakur.
Fred Dust.
I think some of the hate for Shakur started out because he was an Olympian. So a lot of those guys, they're already brought along. You're supposed to like them, where they're not like a Tank or those guys who have to work their way up. So they have the Olympic stuff behind them. I think Shakur has a style to remain undefeated. Of all the guys, I think he could beat any of them. As a fighter, marvelous. As a person, I don't like Shakur. Just when you sit down and talk to him, he's not an easy guy to like. And that's when you're dealing with, like, say, a Keyshawn, or when you're dealing with Abdullah Mace and those kind of guys, where it's like you see the personality. But Shakur has an era, and it's nothing to do with him. I think it's just how he was brought up because of that system with the Olympic boxing. He has an air of entitlement to him. That being said, I think the guy could really retire undefeated. His eyes, his head, everything is that good. Like, it is that good. His feet. I've seen him spar with Bud. I've seen him spar. And the thing is, his lungs are even better than people even realize. Like, everyone's like, oh, he's not getting rid of the guy. Shakur could find a way to fight most guys and win 7 rounds against anybody. I'm just telling you, from 130 to 154, watching that dude fight, I would put him in with anybody as long as he doesn't get chin checked. He could find a way to win 7 rounds of those 12 against anybody. So will we see it? I don't get the hate for him, because to me, it's more just about he's laid 2 eggs apparently to people, the casuals. He's laid 2 eggs. He was hurt with De Los Santos. Obviously, it was what it was in Newark. And so I think the Tank crowd's like, oh, well, we're not giving him any credit because he didn't knock the guy out, where, you know, the guy that we just fought knocked out that guy. But Shakur calls out guys. He calls out everyone, and nobody wants to fight him. Loma didn't want to fight him a long time. Tank didn't want to fight him. I guess Haney, they sent some sort of offer. I don't know. That's for y'all. But I'm just telling you, the way the kid is built, he could easily retire undefeated. We'll see.
Yeah.
Will the hands hold up? That was the second part. I don't know. I thought after a while, Floyd was known. That speaks to Floyd's greatness. He had bad hands for a long time, and that kind of went away. I just think he has to figure out whatever it is. He raps.
I was going to say, do you think this is reminiscent of Floyd's career?
I do.
Yeah,
But we'll see. I mean, Floyd had hand. You and I both know, from 130 up to about 140, he had hand issues, and then those seemed to go away once he figured out what he needed to do and how he needed to rap.
Yeah. 2007, 2009, 2-year break. He come back and he was just in another realm. Eric.
Yeah, with Shakur, I think Shakur likes the limelight too much, and to his detriment of his career at this moment in time, he moved up way too early. He should have never moved up from 130 to 135. He was ill-disciplined. He wanted to be in that glamour weight because he had the 4 kings with Ryan, Devon, Tank, and Theo. He was sort of, people was mentioning his name and he wasn't in that mix. He should have stayed at 130 and cleared up 130. He would have been in a better position than he is now, because now at 135, he's not getting any of the other champions. He's just got another injury after 2 subpar performances. He's had another injury, which he's had to pull out, so he's going to be out for however long. When he does come back, will it be William Zepeda straight away? I can't see it being Zepeda straight away. And then whoever he fights, they know he's recovering from a hand injury. Is he going to throw that hand? So there's a lot going kind of south for Shakur, even though he signed this deal. I think if it had he stayed at 130, cleared up 130, let 135 do what they wanted to do, and then come into it as an undisputed champion or whatever. Because look, Tank is picking these 130 champions up now. If you had those belts, where else is Tank gonna go?
True
But
enough. But can you say that Shakur made a mistake by losing his belts on the scales at 130 that forced
yeah,
him to
I
go to
think,
135?
but
Ill
I think
discipline,
that was just,
you know.
yeah, I think he saw it was a case of he saw what was happening at 135, and because that was the hot division, Shakur needed to be in that division in his eyes. He needs to be in the limelight. He doesn't like to be the little brother in there. He likes to be the one they're talking about. He even put Twitterson on the back of his shorts. The guy, he just wants to be the talk of the town. He has to be there. And if someone
Yeah.
else is outshining him, he doesn't like that. But as Aladdin
Okay.
said, I believe he's probably the only one that can beat everyone. Devon's my favourite fighter out of them, but Shakur,
Yeah.
for me, is probably the best skilled fighter out of all of them. He is
Okay.
ridiculously good.
And the hand issue.
The hand issue, Shakur can fight like he's been fighting. He's been winning without throwing them hands like that. So we know he can do it. At the end of the day, he can box like that. For somebody to beat him, they have to
So
do
scoring
something
punches
else.
only sort of type.
They have to make him fight a different way in order to beat him. Floyd did it for years. With Floyd hand problems, once Floyd got into this style and everybody got used to how Floyd fought, it was down to the other guy to make him do something different. If Floyd didn't do something, if they didn't make Floyd do something different, Floyd won that round, 100%. That's
Okay.
how Shakur needs to be. Shakur just needs to be how he is. Don't listen to the crowd and you think a fighter has to come in there and beat you. If they can't come in there and lay hands on you, you're going to win.
Thank you very much, Eric. Dino's, you're back in the house. I know you've had technical problems. Welcome back, brother. But it's all about Shakur Stevenson now. And tell me your experiences
Um,
of the hatred
so
that he has been
so
receiving.
so my thoughts on Shakur kind of mirrors Eric's. I think Shakur, if he got as much hate as Devin Haney, being what Shakur does, like you could kind of understand it a little bit. Like even that post that he made about Top Rank, how they protect all their fighters, and then people have to ignore that you're a top rank fighter. The Jay Prince interviews, the coming out Cam and Mays, there's a lot that Shakur does that's just distasteful that people could dislike. The only murky thing is that most of the hatred for Shakur comes because of his willingness to fight other fighters. I don't think that he's ducking. I think that Shakur is probably one of the most skilled boxers that we have right now. So I don't want to just repeat what Eric said because I do think that Shakur probably beats all of them. I think Devin Haney could probably beat him just because of the stylistic matchup. I think he could outwork him, but I think that Shakur is probably the best skilled out of all these guys. But Shakur brings some of the hate upon it himself. The only thing that I don't like is whenever people talk about he's ducking or he's scared to fight this one and that, when he never ever showed that he's scared to fight anyone. As far as that goes, he looks like he's running towards the big fights and wanting to make the big fights. I just think Shakur probably think that he's bigger than what he actually is. But Shakur is a great fighter. I think it's going to be hard for anybody to beat him. Just being honest, especially at 135, I don't see nobody beating him.
Damn, I'm starting to see a pattern evolving here. We got, people saying left, right, and center that Shakur has that skill set to beat anybody, go undefeated. This is truly remarkable.
Well, I don't
Who
know.
we
I
got
don't. I
next?
don't know about him going undefeated. I don't think any of these guys will go completely undefeated. I think what Floyd did was remarkable, but I think he'll beat everybody at 135 for sure.
Thank you very much. On the ring of boxing, my good mate Dan is here. Watch party extraordinaire when he goes. How are you, mate?
Yeah, what's good, people? How we all doing?
Answer the man. Answer that man.
We're all
Hello.
good, D.
All good. All
What's
good.
up? What's up, man?
Hold on.
Hey, what's the
Dan,
topic? What's the topic for today, though?
the topic of the today is the hatred of the four kings. We're just on to the third one. So if you can give us a quick, in your experience on Twitter, from what you've heard, boxing shows, all the rest of it, the criticism for Shakur Stevenson first three, and then quickly give us your views on Tank and Haney. But Shakur Stevenson, criticism justified, in your opinion?
Nah, but then within that though, I think a lot of his hate he kind of brings on himself. You know, I think he's an excellent fighter. I think technically he's very good. Like big up to Dino. I agree with what he said. I think at 135, if we're talking skill set for skill set, like I think he's got the capabilities of beating everyone there. But then, like within that, he gets a lot of unfair hate because a lot of people say he's boring and he's not the most entertaining. He doesn't get the KOs and stuff like that. But within that, he kind of brings that pressure on himself. Every time he just be tweeting, talking about, yeah, I'm on violence this fight. I'm gonna get stoppages, this and that, and it just doesn't come. But it's okay. Like you don't have to get stoppages. You don't have to do all of that. That's not his game. If he just comes out and says that, then I ain't really got a problem with it. But he just kind of brings that pressure on himself.
So it's like what Al said. He makes promises he can't deliver, and his mouth can't cash those checks. Now, I'm going to ask you a question, Dan. Who is the most hated boxer out of these three gentlemen? Tank, Haney, or Shakur?
Oh, Devin Haney all day.
Devin Haney, there's the answer to the question.
No, it's like I'm a Devin Haney fan as well. Like I think some of his actions are questionable, but I can't really hate on him. If you look at his resume, he's 25 now. He's got wins over Lomachenko, albeit a lot of people think that was controversial. I thought it was a close fight, but he got the win in that. He's had some solid wins. He went undisputed at 135. Got a solid win over Regis Prograis. He's done his thing, and obviously the whole Ryan Garcia situation that's happened. What happened? Yeah. What's happened's happened. Whether that we already know your views on it, Stevie. We know Eric's views on it as well.
Just to clear this up, to clear this up for the audience. I've never been an advocate for Ryan Garcia, the human being. I've always been an advocate for boxers and their rights within the sport. Just to clear that small matter up.
We all know the situation there. We all know the situation there. But no, I like Devin Haney. I think he brings a lot of entertainment to the sport. And yeah, I can't wait to see him back, the truth be told.
Great stuff. Right, you're up to date. I'm going to bring in the last boxer on this subject for tonight, and that's Terence Crawford. 2 times undisputed, 4-weight world. Is it 4 or is it 3? 3-weight world champion. One of the two, anyway. I can't remember right now.
Not 4.
Is the hatred justified? The criticism. I don't like to use the word hatred. I do like to reiterate, but it's a common word on Twitter that seems to be flung about more times than anything I can imagine. So let's just call it hate for now. Is it justified towards Terence Crawford? A, for let's say the stalling of his career, and B, for his ambition.
I mean, what is there really to criticize? I think the stalling of his career, I don't really put down.
No, let's not forget the Spence saga.
Yeah,
and Spence fans have gone on to support others that Terence has, obviously gone on to fight. So, he has received in the past a serious amount of flack or social media, but his recent thing, he's gone 2 times undisputed. One would imagine that you would like to go 3 times undisputed to leave a legacy, but I'm hearing things like he's going to be fighting Conor McGregor. Now,
Yeah,
is he?
I'm not really
Is he?
trying to
Are
see
we
that.
going to make Conor McGregor the cash-out cow of boxing? You know, with Floyd Mayweather now, this talk of Bud Crawford. Are we in danger of, you know, bigging up Conor McGregor unjustly? And I want to ask that question to Shy.
Well, from what I read, it was like Connor wanted to do Connor wanted to do a boxing match, and he wanted to do a fight in the octagon.
That's
And t-
right.
yeah, and Crawford was like, "Hell no, I ain't getting in no octagon
You're not
with
gonna
you,
put me
The
bro."
in no.
boxing ring, yes. The octagon,
Yeah,
fuck that.
it's just
That is a
Uh,
smart man. That's a
that's a
smart
clever
man.
plan. Do you see Conor McGregor when he was on the football pitch with is it Saka, and he was
oh,
kicking his legs and shit.
Saka, yes.
He was kicking
He
his legs. It's
snapped his
like,
knee.
yeah, I'm
He
like,
didn't
that's
kick
not
him hard enough.
that is.
Said like a true Man United fan.
I was
He
just like,
didn't
that
kick
is
him hard
a
enough.
$1 million footballer, and you're kicking him in his legs like that. Are you sick? But
Bro,
yeah,
that
I
guy.
don't think that fight is gonna happen with Conor McGregor and Bud. I don't really know too much, like, you know, with Bud. I know I've watched his fights and everything. I've seen his fights. I'm a fan of him, but I don't know enough, like, where I can speak on it. So I don't really see him get hate. The only hate that I see him get is with the Spence fight. When those two were going at it, there I saw like the hate, but that's fair because it was like Spence was getting hate, he was getting hate. It's just two different, do you get me, fan bases going against each other. But I don't really see Bud get a lot of hate. But again, it might be the people that I follow on Twitter. My echo chamber is just like different to somebody else's. Do you get what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
yeah.
you must have very select good
Nah,
people.
but
The
doesn't.
secure
But
slander is insane, says Turnbuckle Talk TV. Thanks
Wait,
for
is that
coming through.
OP's writing
slander,
that?
slander. I haven't heard
OP.
anyone slander Shakur.
Any slander is insane too.
No, we said
You're
Shakur does
And
not duck anyone.
is more egregious than the Terrence Bud Crawford slander. Nothing is more egregious.
yes.
Nothing is
Now,
more egregious than Terrence Bud Crawford.
OP's Terence. I mean, you know, he gets criticism for trying to make a fight with Canelo. People say he'll get killed, all the rest of it. But is it not is it just pure ambition? You know,
Bud needs
he's
to
seen other
needs to
guys
stay at
go from
154.
154. Yeah, but he's seen other guys like Jamel Charlo go from 154 to 168 and go 12 rounds with Canelo. Oh, I can do that. You know, is that what we're seeing here, or should he go other ways? Is the criticism right that he should have? He should go for legacy rather than this cash out. He's made enough money. You know, is money an issue still? What is it? Oh,
I don't think money is an issue. I don't think money is an issue for Terrence Bud Crawford. I think he's made some smart investments. I think he lives a pretty you know, simple life. You know what I'm
simple
saying?
life.
He's not flashy in this. Well, he is a little bit in the hood sense, but like he lives a really simple life, simplistic lifestyle. He lives a warrior's lifestyle. He doesn't have any vices. He goes to the gym and goes home basically. So I don't think it's about money, or I don't think it's about money. But I think he want to have that legacy defining fight or that name on his resume that kind of solidifies him at the top. So I think Canelo would be that fight. But I think there's other fights, other competitive fights to be made for Terrence Bud Crawford. But I don't like the fact that everybody is just completely writing him off against Canelo as if he's not a two-time undisputed world champion, 4-division world champion. Like, so I don't really subscribe to that. I think, because, dimensionally he's taller. He's a taller man. He has the longer reach. So I'm of the mind that if they both can make the weight, the contracted weight, then he has an equal opportunity to win that fight. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't write him off. And plus, I'm of the mind that his bag is different. You know, he got tools that he can use. He got adjustments that he can make if he were to get in trouble. You know, and Canelo, he's a different type of fighter now. So he doesn't throw any combinations. He doesn't have the best footwork. So, you know, I think there's things that Terrence Bud Crawford could take advantage of in that fight, and I don't think a lot of people are contextualizing that.
Thank you very much, OP. So I'm going to go to Al next and then Rico. But first and foremost, I'll just go to the chat, ladies and gentlemen. And we've got Jam's Boxing Chat. Completely agree with Eric. 100%. You're talking about Shakur here. He could dominate like Floyd and win every fight from here on out. Yours truly, Trey. Big up Al there, CEO of iBoxingHub. I do think Shaq would have opted to fight Haney or whatever offer. Winning that fight would put him in the position of power. Jams Boxing Chat once again. Big up Jams. He's always got a great opinion. Shaq seems to want the world to bring the other four kings, but he's defo the best boxer. He needs to stop with the X thing though. He's Ryan Garcia. Oh, Jams, big up Dan. Hit and not get hit, says yours truly. Turnbuckle TV. Yeah, still a piece. This curse slander. This is the quietest one ever seen on Rico on a live stream. Oh my God, we haven't been muted. God is great. But Al, let's go to you in response to what OP's was saying.
I
I
love you,
can't stop
Rico.
laughing.
Peace. I'm
I love
watching.
you
Peace. I'm watching right now. Super slow mo on my Crawford
Look
Porter.
at that.
All different cameras. Anyway,
A nice little flex there. I like that out.
yeah, I was just saying. It's just what it is. Just
Beautiful
happened to
stuff.
be on. I didn't know he was. I didn't
What's
know.
all the baby oil? Wait, Aladdin, what's all the baby oil in the back?
Anyway,
You see, this
whatever.
is why he's
Rico,
being quiet,
whatever,
Shy.
Rico. I like you
Shy,
better than
this
you're
is what
quiet.
you've woken up. This is
Sorry,
what you've
guys.
woken
Quiet,
up.
Rico.
I know. I poked the bear.
No, I don't. Again, somebody had used the word. I don't know if it was obese, Dino's, Shy. Somebody said tribalism earlier. I think Crawford was the victim of tribalism because if those of us that knew before, you could see Crawford. Yeah, he had some flaws with Gamboa or whatever, but coming up, you kind of knew he had put the work in to get the Spence fight. He had taken those guys out systematically, and it was clear those guys didn't want him to come across the street. So I think a lot of the hate is for him just for that. Now, as far as the slander with Canelo, people, listen, I understand there's weight divisions, but Canelo has not been the same of late. I will say this about Canelo. He started his career at 47, where Crawford much lighter. So he's always going to have a little bit of a size advantage, but he's as OP's articulated, he's a different fighter than he was, even with the Charlo fight. He's starting to carry guys a little bit more, where I don't know, Crawford doesn't seem to have that, want to carry guys. He still wants to kill you if he can. We will see. There were some things I didn't like in the Madrimov fight where Crawford got hit a couple clean times where you're like, ooh, how does he take that at 168? So I'd like to see what he does at 154, 160 before jumping up there. But as far as the slander, let's just be honest. It was a PBC top rank thing, and it's sad because had they been able to make the fight when Crawford won it a couple years ago, he probably could have been unified at 154, and then we would probably seen what he could have done at 60. So there was a chance he probably could have been undisputed the way Inoue has been 4 times. You know what I mean? But that's on Al. That's stuff that they got to look back. And I do feel like the slander was more one way, one-sided, because they were scared how good this guy is. And again, to OP's point, I've seen Crawford in fights where, with Kavyaskis, where he was in a little bit of trouble. So all he did, he's like, well, you know what? He's doing X, Y, and Z, so I'm going to just start throwing level change. Not only feints, I'm going to just start throwing level change fakes. There's things that he does in general. Like we can all, and I've always said it, anybody can see a big puncher. You can see, okay, Tank can punch. You can see great defense. Shakur, you can see great defense. Some of the stuff Bud does, you can't see. It's just simply he makes fight adjustments where, oh, shit, Brooks touching me. I'm a little bit further close now. I'm a little closer now. So now I can time that jab. I can do things. So Crawford, adjustments and spacing, the stuff and timing is stuff that you can't really see till it's too late, and then the fight's over. To me, he has Hall of Fame adjustments, Hall of Fame timing, and he understands the spacing. He understands who he is, and that for me is why I would put him in a fight with anybody who has a chance. But the slander, the hate, is too bad because the people that end up hating him, you hated a guy that is going to be probably a first ballot Hall of Famer.
And an absolute icon in the future. Go on, Eric.
Now the ones that I hate, that I still hate him, are just clutching on straws. Who was ex-Spence fans? That's it. For me, I don't want Bud to retire yet, so I'd rather him have a run at 154 and pick up those belts. It's literally 2 fights at 154 to be undisputed. He does that, then Canelo's going to have at least 2 more fights. He's not fighting Bud anytime soon. There's no point for Bud to be waiting around for Canelo because he isn't going to fight him. He's going to have this fight wherever in Japan or whatever he is they're talking about, and then I don't know, a Bivol fight maybe. But he ain't fighting Bud anytime soon. Bud needs to carry on with his career and do what he's been doing and just go undisputed at 154. I still think the Jamal Charlo fight at 154 is a big fight. I think that's a career, a big career fight for him, especially with the Spence link and obviously the beef between those two. I think there was more beef between those two than there was ever Spence and Crawford, to be honest with you. So
let me sorry, Eric, sorry, mate. I just have to butt in here because look, Al Heyman, the boss man, has come up with a massive shout. Is Kendrick Lamar a victim of tribalism? Oh, he means Crawford. I mean, that's slander. This is the disrespect I'm talking about, gentlemen and ladies.
You're not taking a piss.
Champs Boxing Chat. I seen that Al Heyman UFC calling Bud Kendrick Lamar. I mean, come on. This has got to stop. It's got to stop. D-Block in the house. Conor Ben, a future champion. Thanks.
Hell no.
Rico, talk to me.
Who the drug cheat?
D-Block's in here trolling.
If he fights Eubank, I hope Eubank sends him to the gulags. Honestly, he needs to just...
Facts.
Whoa.
Yes, Dan, I was going to bring you in next because you're a big Conor Ben fan.
IBO World Champion pending, by the way. 3-time IBO World Champion pending.
3-time.
The
IBO is the new WBC.
3-time IBO. IBO. Just say that, ladies and gentlemen, in your head. IBO 3 times.
He's legitimizing it.
What an incredible performance.
When his dad was winning the WBO, nobody thought that it'd end up being legitimized.
Absolutely. Senior paved the way.
With Turkey involved, the IBO could well be counted. You never know.
I think you might buy them.
Bodies aren't playing balls. Turkey might well call up the IBO and say, you know what, you've been promoted.
But can I get a free time?
Yeah. Hall of Fame stuff. Hall of Fame stuff. Dino.
What's up?
That is embarrassing. That is fucking embarrassing. Which one of you lot did 3 times?
Yeah, that was Dan.
Listen, you're just jealous because you got left out, man.
You're a grown
the biggest Conor Ben fan out here.
Grown ass man. Okay.
I don't really see a lot of Bud slander. I think it was a lot before he fought Errol. I think he kind of his point.
Errol Spence fans have gone over to Bud Crawford's, opponents now.
Yeah, I could see that, but I think that the Canelo fight, it's a tall task. So I think that the criticism for that fight is kind of justified because I don't think he could win it just because of how big Canelo is. I think he could go undisputed at 154. Whoever said that, that's a great. I'll pick him to beat everybody at 154. Even 160, I just think 168 might be a tad too
4
much.
times undisputed.
As far as that goes.
Can you imagine it?
So that's my thing. I don't see a lot of Bud slander. I think he got a lot of slander for the Madrimov fight. But Madrimov, I think it was more of Madrimov. I think he's the second best 154
Madrimov
pounder
is a very good fighter.
as
Agreed.
far as this top talent.
It has to be
Uh,
the second best because he's the only man that's marked Bud Crawford up like that, went 12 rounds and give him a really hard fight. As
yeah,
much as we
I
all
think
liked him, it's still he still won the fight. But you can't seriously sit back and say, "Oh, that was easy for Bud." No, it was not.
I don't
And Bud
think
would be the
anyone's
first one
running
to admit
towards
that.
Y'all
Madrimov.
don't think
yeah.
Bud
Uh,
gets a lot of hate for his resume?
I think
This
that
is
he
another
does,
No,
but
thing,
that's people that
I
Opie's.
think he used
I
to.
think people
I
The
think he
are
resume
used to.
hit.
No,
I
I
think
think
that's
he
people that
used
just
to
don't like
because of the
Bud Crawford.
Spence. Yeah, because of the
Sorry,
Spence
Eric.
thing, people used to hate on it. But after Spence, no one mentions it really. I don't really hear people mention it because he has good wins. He's knocked out everybody, just about everybody at welterweight who he's fought. Mostly everybody at
Just
light
broke a
welterweight.
11 fight knockout streak.
11 fight knockout streak. Like he's
Just
gone up
broke
to
it with Madrimov.
154. He's gone up
And
to
everybody
154
felt
and
like
fought
he
a
was a
champion
knockout Madrimov.
yet again fighting a champion at a new weight class. And it was a tough fight. Madrimov's a very good fighter. Not a lot of champions will be running towards him or contenders. No one will be wanting to fight that guy because he's good.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I got Madrimov beating Boots. And I think Crawford, like, there's people that don't like Crawford resume because it doesn't have these glamorous names, but we don't have those nowadays.
Wait,
Like, we
wait,
don't have
wait.
those.
Did I just hear you say Madrimov beats Boots? You're gonna cop at me on Twitter for saying that. The Boots fans are gonna hang you, man. Right.
I know. I'm
Nobody's
in the
allowed to
lines
pick
again
a
now. I'm in the
nobody's
lines
allowed
again
to
now.
pick against anyone these days. You can't have a thought of your own nowadays. You have to stay
It's
with the herd.
ridiculous, isn't it? It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
See, see you hated.
I think
It is.
Madrimov, he has a lot of power. I don't think that Boots' defense is very leaky. I seen him get touched a lot in the David Avanesian fight. I think Madrimov hits really hard. Bud could attest to that, and Bud has the patience to not actually jump in there. But I don't think we could see that from Boots. I think Madrimov probably beats Boots as far as that goes. I think he's the second best at 154. I think he beats Wojciech. I think he might stop Virgil Ortiz. Tim Zoo is a toss up, but I think Madrimov is really good. That's what when I looked at the fight, I was impressed with Madrimov's skills because I know how good Bud is. As far as
Movement was
Bud
that
was
goes.
very
beautiful.
patient in that fight. Bud's patience in that fight was remarkable. He
Bud
was really
couldn't get
patient.
a punch off in the first 2 rounds. That
He was
was
patient, but that shows how good Madrimov was. That shows how
exactly.
good of a fighter you are. Bud
And
can't read you that quickly.
he took
Yeah.
that
Madrimov
fight
could
first
go.
fight out. He took that fight the first
Madrimov
fight
was
at
very
154.
patient and very crafty. Applied a lot of foot feint, a lot of
So how many
hand feint.
guys,
He was
OPs, how
very
many guys are
methodical.
coming up from 147, the first fight out, and taking that guy out? You know what I'm saying? Not a lot.
Nope.
He's a
Not a lot.
unit.
Exactly.
He was a unit as
And
well. He
fair
was
play to
built
him
like
as
a
well. You know
brick
what? Fair play to him
shitters.
because he's only just
This
won
is what
that
I'm gonna
belt.
tell y'all.
People
He's
just
That
only
want
just
to
won
Madrimov
that belt.
get
that
in.
Madrimov win is gonna age like fine wine. Like it's
Yeah,
gonna age like fine wine.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I don't see
And
Maybe.
nobody beating him at
and
154.
that
People
will
think they
shut
can
up
go
the
100.
resume haters. Look, guys, we've been at it for now. It's 1 minute, 1 hour, 20 minutes. I want to do a wee section here with all of you, and it's just give me your a one name answer to this quiz that I'm about to do. Right. So I'll be asking a question. You just give me the name. Okay. Start off with who I can see first, which would be Rico on my left, going in a clockwise manner. So, Rico, the first
Hello.
question is, right, most
Mhm.
hated out of the 4 gentlemen.
Out of what? Ryan, Tank, all of them?
No. Out of Tank, Shakur, Haney, Crawford.
Ooh, who's hated out of all of them?
Who's the most
Devin
hated?
Haney. Devin Haney,
Okay,
without a
thank you.
doubt.
Aladdin.
I hate
No, who you hate.
I hate Garcia, but Haney. Because Garcia's a piece of shit for what he did.
Haney's the most.
Bro is a
Haney's the
menace.
most hated.
Bro
Dinos.
is a menace. He said, "Fuck this. I hate this guy. I don't care what you lot say." What?
I think it's Devin
I respect
Haney,
it so much.
by
Okay,
a large
thank you.
margin.
Right. O-Piece.
I mean, bar none, Devin Haney. I mean, he gets the most unfair, unwarranted criticism.
Okay, then. Thank you. Shy.
Devin Haney, baby.
Devin Haney. It's unanimous so far. Dan, talk to me.
Everybody's a
Devin,
baby.
Yeah, Devin's
Devin
my guy.
Haney.
But it's Devin Haney, man. It's Devin Haney. He
Yeah.
don't deserve that shit, but he's.
I know that. All right.
So you
And
don't deserve that shit.
just to finish off this question, Eric.
Yeah, we know it's a
You don't deserve it, man. Leave Devin alone.
2-5.
I
So we got a
feel for him,
7-0 margin on that. Right. Next question, guys. Starting off with Rico. Talks too much on Twitter.
I hate Elon Musk. I hate Elon Musk. Elon, you're a fucking bitch. You understand why?
No. Please, mate. We haven't got time, right? Just give me your answer. Out of the four gentlemen, who talks too much on Twitter the most?
Twitterson. Shut up, my guy Twitterson, bro. Number
Twitterson,
10.
there it is.
Number 10, Twitterson.
Aladdin.
Twitterson.
Dinos.
Yeah, bro. Wear it like a badge of honor.
Yeah,
Shakur.
it's definitely got to be Shakur. Like,
Okay. Oh, peace.
I'm not about to implicate myself in this foolishness.
This bro is so Louisiana. Did you hear him?
There's
I'm not about
method
to
to my
implicate
madness, my
myself in
man.
this.
There's method to my madness.
Hearing.
That boy might see it. I'm not about to ruin
Oh, peace.
I know exactly why that smile on his face. The smoke in that room is just
He's high as a motherfucker right now, and his teeth so white. It's just madness.
So tell me,
about
Piece.
see the lion at the back. That's how cloudy it is.
Yeah, he's got Aslan is in the back here.
Yeah.
Peace out here. Just like, you know what? I just want everybody to love each other, you know?
All right, Peace. Peel your lips from your gums. Get your tongue saliva. Who's the most speaks the most on?
Pause.
With the fans need to hear it. The audience needs to hear it.
The audience need to hear it. Well, since I didn't had the pleasure of you know what I'm saying, speaking with Shakur on Twitter. You know,
Just plead the fifth.
Well played.
Plead the fifth.
Yeah, I hear it.
Shy, what are you saying, darling?
I'm not gonna speak for O-Piece. I'm gonna speak for myself. But this doesn't represent what O-Piece really thinks, but he can't say
Mad
it.
thing. Raw, that's a disclaimer.
I'm strictly speaking for Shy. And it's gotta be Mr. Stevenson for sure.
Okay.
Shout out to tweets, bro. Can I just say, it takes a lot to.
That's a rhetorical question, Mr. Neutral. You already knew the answer. You really set us up.
For Shakur to win this award over Javonte Tank Davis, that is a madness.
No, but the thing is, Tank he's not really online as much as
no, because he deletes his tweets.
No.
He doesn't leave a trail of tweets. He doesn't leave it.
Tank is a close number.
He doesn't leave a.
Anyway, can we finish?
I agree with Rico.
Let's go with Eric, please.
If Shakur doesn't win this award, him having Twitterson on the back of his shorts, he's gonna look really silly.
Exactly.
I'm getting that on the back of the shirt right now. Twitterson.
Dan, to finish off, please. Dan, who talks too much for you on Twitter?
I'll be real. They all talk the most, man. But I gotta give it to Shakur. I don't like how Tank be talking either, though. But yeah, Shakur did the most.
Half of us don't get to see it. Half of us don't get to see the tweets.
No, Tank deletes his tweets, and then his fans is like Tank is never on Twitter. He's so quiet. I'm like, bro, he just tweeted about 100 things like yesterday. He just deleted all of them.
Listen, Twitter is a happy place when Tank don't tweet. As soon as he starts
Yeah.
tweeting and shit, it's just
Yeah, when he
fucking,
starts
it's just
tweeting,
chaos.
it's a madness, isn't it?
See, he sparks the whole world off. Right, next question, guys. Been 2 clean sweeps so far, 7-0. Incredible stuff. This question is, right, who would you rather see and buy a ticket for if all 4 boxes had their perfect matchups? You can only pick one. Are you picking Haney, Tank, Shaq, or Crawford? And we'll start with Rico again.
What was the question?
The question was, if you had all 4 boxes with the actual perfect matchups, but they should be who they should be fighting, but you could only go to one event, what event would that be?
Any Shakur Stevenson event, Aladdin.
Okay, Aladdin.
Whatever, man. Terrence Crawford.
Terrence Crawford.
Yeah.
One for Terrence.
You know, if you don't support your own, somebody has to.
At last, we have a difference of opinion. Dinos, you've got, who would you go and see if all 4 of them gentlemen had their perfect matchup?
So Crawford wants the Canelo matchup. So to see Crawford and Canelo, that would be amazing just in itself. So I'm going with Crawford.
Bang on, bang on. Thank you, man. That's 2-1 to Crawford. Oh, Peace, what you saying?
I have to see the stylistic matchup of Gervonta Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson. I gotta see that fight, so I'm gonna be front and center. You dig?
Hey, would you say it in an English accent really quickly?
No, he said that in jive. I love it. Keep it going, mate. Shy.
Mine would be Tank because.
Another Tank.
Jive. He said it in
jive. Do I have to pick who he's fighting against, or just that's the fight?
You can only pick one. You can only pick one box.
You don't need to pick a fight. We know it's just going to be Tank. We know.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough, Eric.
To be a Tank fight. It'd be a Tank fight, right? Eric, let's go to you. It's 2 for Tank. It's 2 for Shaq and 1 for 2 for Crawford and 1 for Twitterson.
There's not even a debate. It's Bud Crawford, 100 times.
Oh, another Crawford one. Another Crawford.
I do not care who he's fighting. Bud Crawford is my favorite fighter, and he would be the one. That guy's skill set is ridiculous, and watching it up close would be an absolute honor.
Thank you very much, my man. Daniel.
I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of a bit tricky. It's a bit 50-50 between Bud and Tank, and I'm not gonna lie, it's hurting me to say Tank, to be honest. Like, yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Tank. Like, and you can't be fan as well.
Anyone choosing Tank isn't a real boxing fan.
That's incredible.
Hear me out.
No, listen. Tank got
no, let Dan finish, guys, and then you can take issue.
But nah, like Tank, to be fair to his credit, like Tank fights that, they're a whole event. Everyone comes out.
Yeah, I know why you're picking it, Dan. I know.
They're a whole spectacle, man. So, it was between Crawford and Tank, and to be fair, Tank has that X factor, man. So I'm gonna go with Tank, man. It hurts me to say that, though. It hurts me.
It doesn't sound like it hurts you. It sounds like you said that just easily.
No, but I'm gonna be honest with you. As a single man, you probably should want to go watch Tank fight.
That's why Don wants to go.
As a single what?
Don wanted to go to Tank fight.
No,
what's your business? What I do as a single man?
Said as a single man.
Dan's reasoning for wanting to go was the whole event.
What do you mean by that?
No, you said it's a whole event. It wasn't even about Tank boxing. It was about the event.
Yeah, you're gonna have the women out there. You like a shot gonna be there. You got OP.
Wait, hold on. Wait, he's fighting in December, right?
It seems like a good event.
Wait, he's fighting December, right?
Yeah.
What, Houston?
Yes.
All right, yeah. How much are flights to Houston? Like from the UK?
Yeah, I
Just
bet.
ask
Look
your
it up.
question.
Yo,
Go
you can
Google.
Google it,
We haven't
bro.
got time
You
for
can
that.
Google it
I'd
right
love to
there.
have time for that, gents. Listen,
There's
guys.
Google. Type that shit in.
I want to thank
Yeah, I was
each
asking you
and
about that.
every single one of you for coming through tonight. We had Rico Sensi. Big up Aladdin, the ESPN director of what is it again, Al?
Top ranked
Yes.
boxing. There you go.
Top Rank Boxing. Thank you very much, Al, for coming through.
Screwing fighters
Dinos.
since the early 1900s. Thank you so much, Aladdin, for your contribution
You behave
to,
yourself, young man.
to the child actors funds of America. Thank you so much.
I'm sorry for him. You have to excuse me. I do apologize. Thank you, Dinos and Opis. Check these two guys' spaces out on Twitter. These guys are rising stars and they talk real good stuff. To the 505, the queen of watch parties in the
Come on,
UK. We got another one on the 21st of December for what fight is it? What fight card is it again, Shy?
Undisputed.
Fury Usyk rematch.
Fury Usyk
And
rematch is going to be happening.
obviously it's my birthday on Christmas
I
Day,
used
so
to
you know
get on
we're
put it
doing
on the
a
record.
double. We're doing a
Wow,
double
Sky,
thing.
is it you really your birthday on that
Just
We
on
in
got a
case
Christmas Day?
Christmas. We
just
got
in
a
No
case
way.
anybody
birthday, a
didn't know,
Christmas
it's my
celebration,
birthday
and a
Christmas
rematch all
Day.
in
Wait, hang
one.
on. Let me
Did she
just
say?
wait.
Did she say Fury's retirement party? I couldn't hear her.
Yes, I did. I
Okay.
actually did. I did.
Fury's retirement. No, he's actually
Yeah.
saying he wants a trilogy. He was saying today, but that's another story. I want to big up Eric, my man from Banter Boxing, my compadre at Heated
Thanks for having
Debates,
me.
the man who stands up to me and doesn't give a shit. I love it, mate. He's my prodigal son. I'm molding
It's
Eric
all love.
to be the new Mr. Neutral. That's my future plan. Dan from On the Record Boxing.
Save the best for last. Save the best
You
for
know,
last.
my buddy, the
You've
first
not
man I
announced me
sat
yet,
next
mate.
to at the 505 watch party, the very first one. You remember that, Dan? We had a
Yeah.
great time with Jonathan, all the guys. Magnificent. Look, guys, I got to salute you for all coming through for Hard Talk. You've all done me a tongue.
You didn't pick up thingy, Neutral.
Who?
Yourself, dog.
No.
Big up
I'm here
yourself
for.
for hosting
Shout out Stevie, man.
amazing
Nah, this was a great
stream.
space. This was a
Thank
great thing,
you, guys.
neutral. Amazing job.
Amazing.
You
Yeah, now we
guys
got
are all, you got to come through every time I'm doing a Hard Talk USA because I've had so much fun with you lot tonight, and
Come
you
on.
talk the most sense. I've had some idiots on my shows before, and pure upsets me, but it's just lovely it's just lovely to see some great people
Nah,
here.
Elon's a
And
dickhead,
please
bro.
come back. Please come back because there's going to be more great topics. Obviously, we've got so much to talk about with these great cards coming up. But guys, thank you very much. This show was sponsored by.
No, wait. First of all, fuck you, Elon Musk,
Oh
bro. You're
my
a
God!
dickhead, bro.
Where's production?
Yeah, guys, can you please go to the support page and ask them to unblock my shit or get in touch with me, please? Because I'm not going to do a banter unboxing live without my ex.
Oh my God! Sort that shit out. Right, guys.
Thank you,
iBoxing
Neutral.
Hub. D-Rock Apparel, iBoxingHub 24, and the promo code once you check out that catalog, and I can tell you that drip is voila. Yeah, thank you to everyone who's come through. I've absolutely loved this show. You must all come back. The audience too. Big up everyone in the chat from Turnbuckle TV, who is obviously O-Piece, Jams, my man, my great friend Jams. Absolutely get well soon, son. Missed you on Twitter this week and certainly on Boxing Media Hub. And just to everyone in the chat who's come through tonight for supporting me and iBoxing Hub and Rico and Banter and Boxing. We're here for the fans, made by the fans for the fans. We couldn't do it without yous. And, you know, just thank you, thank you, thank you. So from me, on behalf of all of us here at iBoxing Hub, Rico, have the last word.
Elon, unlock my shit, bro. I really, really need it. But one thing I just wanted to say, Padre, is that you are an exceptional human being. You have so much talent in abundance, and to be honest with you, I had a great time today, and I think many people are going to have a great time. And you make people happy, and maybe have a better day than what they did. And that's what it's all about. So I think thank you, Padre. And what are you going to do tomorrow? Quickly, sorry, I know we're prolonging things.
Well, tomorrow, let me see, let me think. Do you know what, Rico? I might go and see the Nick Ball and Ronnie Rios fight tomorrow night in Liverpool, the Queensbury show. I'll be there covering for iBoxing Hub, the big event. And yes, can't wait. So with all that said, thank you once again. See you soon.
Another band, all the Mars and cars now, whichever get up. Light up my card with a sweet one, please. Someone flicks me a baggy. Say, oh, it's another one, yeah, it's a full strand, yeah. Oh, it's another one, yeah.